To say the newest Tears of the Kingdom trailer was awe-inspiring would be an enormous understatement. Nintendo finally gave us a more fleshed out, story-focused trailer that teased so many new developments to the world of Hyrule that people like Nintendo Black Crisis can make an 80-minute long analysis video covering 3 minutes of footage. Yeah, that's how many layers upon layers of carefully chosen scenes we were given to watch in the trailer. That being said, choosing just one thing to talk about is clearly very difficult, but if there were to be anything that's more interesting than all the other reveals, it would be the new characters that were shown to us in the trailer. We have this goat-faced man who I'll call Richard, whose voice I believe we're hearing when he's talking to Zelda about Link. And speaking of Zelda, we finally get to see what happens to her after her infamous falling scene. Or perhaps before, but more on that later. We also get to see the rehydration and resurrection of Ganondorf Dragmire. And let me just say, all hail the king. Last but not least though, we have an entirely new character. This strange-looking woman who appears to be blasting a gajillion Moldugas back with her own power. See, I think I've got a pretty good idea of just who she is, and depending on who you are and what thought processes you're coming from, it may even be obvious. But before I get into my thoughts on her, I'd like to point out that there may or may not be certain pieces of information we can gather about this individual from the leaked art book. Yes, I have seen it, and no, I will not be openly discussing it in this video or in any video until the art book has been released publicly. Nintendo, if you're listening, please don't demonetize my video. But that doesn't mean I won't give vague hints for those who have seen the book, so stay tuned. Oh, and please remember that this video is a compilation of thoughts and theories that are my own and are not confirmed, nor am I heralding them as being so. Meaning, you are more than welcome to believe what I say or not. It's your prerogative. But first, I'd like to take a quick second to thank today's sponsor of this video, Ipsos iSay. Have you ever wondered what you could do if you utilized your downtime? You know, the time we all spend watching TV or waiting for an Uber or working on a stationary project, like when I'm editing videos for hours. What if I told you that you could be earning rewards like Amazon gift cards or straight up cash in that downtime? Introducing Ipsos iSay, the easy-to-use online survey website that lets you earn points for taking surveys that can then be turned directly into gift cards, PayPal payouts, or even contributed to charity. And it could not be more easy to just create an account and get started right now on whatever device you're using that has a browser. To start turning your downtime into actual cash, click the link in my description to start earning rewards with Ipsos iSay today. And now, onto the video. In the first place, and most obviously, the strange woman has many similarities to Zelda herself, especially now that we've seen Zelda and her new clothing in Tears of the Kingdom, and many fans have pointed these similarities out. She has very similar markings on her face and wears an extremely similar headpiece and necklace, with the necklace even sporting the same Magatama tear that Zelda wears on her necklace. She's also wearing the exact same earrings. And oddly enough, the biggest similarity to me between the two ladies would be their eyes. The mystery woman has the same sad-looking green eyes that Princess Zelda has. However, they do differ in their skin tone and facial structure, with the mystery woman's nose and possibly even mouth being positioned lower than that of Zelda's. And even though the markings are similar, the woman has more of them than Zelda. Now, I'm not a fan of stringing people along in videos just to elongate watch time or whatever, even though that is the king metric for video performance on YouTube. So I'll just tell you who I think the woman is now, and then you can stick around for my explanation if you so choose to, especially since it's so obvious. I think the mystery lady is Zelda, and I think that if you watching this right now were to be honest with yourself, you would admit that you think so too. The question is, how does that make any sense at all given their rather different facial structures and whatnot? Well, allow me to explain, and if you're enjoying this so far, please consider leaving a like on the video if you're looking forward to the game, and subscribing if you haven't already for much more gaming lore. Let's talk for a second about some of the other things we see in the trailer, one of which is, strangely, Link looking kind of confused standing in the throne room of Hyrule Castle. Right off the bat, and just like I said in my analysis video, this should be quite intriguing to you, because the throne room shouldn't look like this at all, nor should it be accessible to Link. One, because Calamity Ganon and Link kind of broke it in the last game, not to mention it was kind of in shambles anyway, and two, because the throne room and even Hyrule Castle itself are both preoccupied at the moment by a certain angry redhead. I think that this plus Link's amazed/confused face, plus all the sparkles around the throne room, plus the fact that it is in pristine condition, plus the fact that there are 2 throne seats implying a king and queen instead of just one, like it was previously, could only mean one of 2 things. 1, this is some sort of magical vision that Link is being shown, or 2, this is time travel. And due to some other things we're going to see and talk about in this video, I'm heavily leaning towards the latter. The next thing I'd like to point out is the image we have that ends the trailer, which is another one of Zelda, standing alone in Hyrule asking Link to come find her. Thanks to some image comparisons, we can tell that Zelda is probably positioned over the Great Plateau and notably cannot see any sky islands in the sky above her. Now, unless the Great Plateau is about to be sealed off by some magic barrier or something, which is unlikely since some fans like Zelda lore on Twitter and YouTube have located Link's position in the trailers as being on the Great Plateau, the question is, why would Link not be able to find Zelda here? What's the point of her asking him to come find her unless she knows he can't? At least not by normal means. Well, again, there's really only one reason, and that would be that Zelda is not in Link's current reality. And the easiest answer as to how that's possible would be, once again, time travel. Specifically to a time before Ganondorf shattered the barrier between the Sky Islands and Hyrule. There are several other reasons to believe time travel is coming to Tears of the Kingdom, and lots of Zelda fans and content creators have been speculating about it for a few years now. So, let's assume for a moment that this train of thought is correct, and therefore that Zelda travels through time in this game, probably to the distant past, and which probably happens right here as she falls down in the infamous Ganondorf encounter. Clearly, she then meets with the presumably Zonai individual named Richard at some point, and if the notion of time travel is true, could then spend an unknown amount of time at his side. Now this is where things actually start getting interesting and make an odd amount of sense. Remember that whatever job or task that's given to Zelda when she travels to the past is something that we know three things about. One, it involves Richard and is likely why he's giving her this pep talk here, or whatever this is. Two, it involves one of the mysterious Magatama symbols that are also seen with Sidon, Tulin, Ganondorf, and presumably Riju, although Zelda's glows with a bright yellow gold color, the same color that glows whenever Hylia's powers are used, like when Zelda sealed Calamity Ganon away, or when Princess Zelda in Ocarina of Time held Ganon down. Third, we know that whatever Zelda is doing for or with Richard and with the Golden Magatama is something that, quote, only she can do. Only Zelda. Now ask yourself, what makes Zelda so special? What is it about her that grants her powers and insights and makes her so important in the overarching meta-narrative that is the legend of Zelda? Well, of course, it would be the fact that she is the direct descendant / reincarnation of the goddess Hylia. That's where her powers come from, at least the ones not related to the Triforce. And that's exactly what I think is going on with whatever Zelda's doing in Tears of the Kingdom. Now, exactly what she's doing with the Magatama and what everybody's doing with them on that note is another theory that I may or may not be able to make before Tears of the Kingdom releases in less than 20 days now, so you'll just have to subscribe to find out. But the point I'm making for this video is that whatever Zelda is doing here in the past is something that only she can do, which means logically it has to do with Hylia. Now, if you've been here for a while, you may remember that Zeltic and I had a couple theories we did in collaboration with each other a little while ago, one of which insinuated that Zelda would be morphing into Hylia. Behold, after the passage of countless years, here is Zelda, slowly but surely becoming the physical manifestation of Goddess Hylia. Think about it, why else would they showcase Zelda's hair being cut short so deliberately? Wouldn't it make sense if they did that so that her appearance here would showcase the passage of time, with her hair being fully grown out as she becomes this? And as you can see, the more Hylia she becomes, the better she can control her goddess powers, and the more Moldugas bite the dust. I think it's also intriguing that she appears to be becoming a goat-like person similar to Richard, as you can see with her nose moving down towards her chin, implying that whatever race Richard is the same race that the goddess Hylia was, but that's neither here nor there. This video was a shorter one and was more on the speculative side, but what do you guys think? Is this mystery woman Zelda, who's morphing after years and years of using the power of her Magatama? Or is it an entirely new character who just really looks like her? Let me know in the comments below what you think, and let me know what the most interesting part of the trailer was to you. Please consider leaving a like on the video if you enjoyed watching, and subscribe if you haven't already to stick around for so much more Tears of the Kingdom coverage. Huge thanks as always to my bandit crew, who make my day every day. That's all I've got for this one, so be sure to follow me on my socials where I may just be giving away a copy of Tears of the Kingdom, hint hint. Anyway, this is Bandit, looking forward to seeing you next time and signing out. Peace!